Lena Hartley never meant to message a tycoon. She just wanted her daughter to stop coughing. It was well past midnight, the sort of bone-chilling hour when the wind howled through the cracks in her run-down apartment walls, carrying with it the distant sirens of the city that never truly slept. Lena huddled on the worn couch in her living room, wrapped in an old fleece throw that had seen better days, its edges frayed from years of use. The heater had conked out again. The landlord had promised to fix it tomorrow, like he always did, but promises were as reliable as the flickering streetlight outside her window. In the bedroom, little Ava's raspy breaths echoed through the thin walls, each cough like a dagger twisting in Lena's gut tighter and tighter. The pediatrician had prescribed antibiotics earlier that day after a rushed visit to the clinic, but the pharmacy bill? $80 she didn't have, not after rent had cleared her account down to mere pennies, leaving her staring at a negative balance on her banking app. With trembling fingers, chilled from the draft seeping under the door, Lena grabbed her phone and scrolled to her sister's contact. Mia had bailed her out before, grudgingly, with lectures about getting her life together, but blood was blood, right? Mia, hate asking, but Ava's sick. Need $80 for meds. Payday's Friday. I'll pay back. Promise. She hit send without a second glance, too exhausted to proofread, her eyes burning from lack of sleep. Setting the phone down on the chipped coffee table, she buried her face in her hands, whispering a silent prayer that Mia wouldn't ignore her this time, that she wouldn't get another curt, can't right now, like last month. 5 minutes later, the phone vibrated, its screen lighting up the dim room like a beacon. I believe this was intended for someone else. Lena's eyes widened in panic, her heart dropping like a stone. Wrong number, 1 digit off, a stupid typo from her blurry vision. Her cheeks burned with embarrassment, a flush creeping up her neck. So sorry, ignore please, she typed hastily, her thumb slipping on the keys, before locking the screen and tossing it aside onto the couch cushion. Another mess up in a life full of them. Layoffs, deadbeat exes, endless bills. She sighed, rubbing her temples, wondering if the universe was just piling on for sport. Across town, in a sleek high-rise overlooking the glittering skyline that pulsed with the energy of a metropolis on the edge, Ethan Whitaker stared at his personal cell, a number reserved for emergencies and the few people he still trusted after years of betrayals in the cutthroat world of business. No one texted it unsolicited. It was his fortress, his last line of privacy. Yet here was this raw plea. No scam vibes, just pure, unfiltered desperation. Ava's sick. Need $80 for meds. He reread it twice, 3 times, picturing the scene. A mom scraping by in some forgotten corner of the city. A kid hurting while the world spun on indifferently. He could have deleted it. Should have. His advisors would call it a liability. But memories of his own rough start flickered like old film reels. Orphanage days with hollow bellies. Foster homes where kindness was a myth. The gnawing hunger that never quite left you. His thumb hovered, then typed, "Will your daughter be all right?" He hit send, surprising even himself, a crack in the armor he'd built so carefully. Lena gaped at the message, her phone buzzing in her hand like it had come alive. A stranger caring? It felt creepy at first, a red flag in a world full of predators lurking online. Instinct screamed to block the number, to delete the thread and pretend it never happened. But the genuine concern in those simple words made her hesitate, a tiny spark of hope in the darkness. "We'll figure it out. Sorry again," she replied, her fingers lingering on the send button. The reply came quick, almost too quick. "I can assist. No obligations." She snorted softly, a bitter laugh escaping her lips. "Yeah, right. Thanks, but no charity from unknowns. Wise. Call me Ethan now, not unknown." The name hung there, simple, yet intriguing. She didn't respond immediately, instead rising to check on Ava, soothing her back to sleep with a lullaby hummed through choked-back tears. The child's feverish forehead felt like fire under her palm. Tears came then, hot and silent, not just from being broke, but from the bone-tired broke that ground you down day after day. In a haze of vulnerability, she sent her PayPal link, half expecting a scam alert. Seconds later, $3,000 deposited from Ethan Whitaker. Frozen in place, Lena double-checked the app, her breath catching in her throat. Real, undeniable. This is way too much. I only needed $80. Her message flew out, laced with panic. It's yours. Worry less. She didn't cry at her layoff from the biotech lab 6 months ago, where she'd crunched data for experimental drugs that could save lives but couldn't save her job. She didn't cry when her ex, Derek, bailed post-pregnancy news, vanishing like smoke with empty promises. But this random act from a shadow broke her defenses. Thank you. Words fail me. No need. Care for Ava. Then it hit her like a cold wave. She hadn't mentioned Ava's name in the follow-ups. How did he know? Suspicion crept in, a whisper in her mind. Was he watching? Hacking? Her heart raced as she stared at the screen, the glow casting eerie shadows on the walls. Sleep evaded Lena that night, the apartment's creaks amplifying her paranoia. Even with Ava finally resting after a dose of over-the-counter syrup from the cupboard's last remnants, Lena paced the small living room, phone clutched like a lifeline, or a bomb. The transfer was legit, no reversal notifications. But why? Scammers didn't give. They took, luring you in with honey before the sting. This Ethan seemed different. Certain, like generosity was as routine as breathing for him. She typed a dozen messages, deleted them all, her mind spinning scenarios. Identity thief? Stalker? Or just a lonely soul with too much money? Finally, she sent, "You didn't have to." "I chose to," he replied promptly, as if he'd been waiting. In his penthouse office, Ethan lounged in a chair that cost more than most people's rent for a year, the city lights below mocking his isolation with their ceaseless twinkle. Widowed young, his wife lost to a rare disease he'd poured millions into researching. He had no kids, no heirs, just an empire of green energy that powered half the grid, but left him in the dark. Whitaker Renewables was his child, built from nothing but grit and genius, yet success came with invisible walls. People wanted pieces. Deals, favors, mergers that felt like invasions. This text? It was pure, untainted by agendas. "Why help a nobody like me?" she asked, her words cutting through his reverie. He pondered, fingers drumming on the armrest, then shared a sliver of his guarded truth. "Once, help came when I needed it most. I pay it forward." But unspoken. It was a way to atone for the brother he'd lost touch with, the family fractures that money couldn't mend. A pause stretched, tense like a wire. "I'll repay somehow." For what? The meds, the gesture. He admired her grit, the refusal to be a victim. It reminded him of himself, clawing up from nothing. "What meds does Ava need? I'll send supplies, not cash." Lena wavered, glancing at Ava's door, the coughs quieter now but still haunting, if truly no strings. "None. Games aren't my style." Suspicion lingered. Was this a trap? But desperation won. She listed the antibiotics. Morning brought a knock that jolted her awake, her body stiff from dozing on the couch. Peering through the peephole, she saw a delivery uniform, boxes stacked high. Heart-pounding, she opened the door a crack. "For Lena Hartley?" She nodded, signing with shaky hands. Inside, boxes of antibiotics, cough syrup, vitamins, diapers, even toddler clothes and snacks. Premium brands she'd only seen in ads. At the bottom of the last box, buried under soft blankets, a note. "She deserves more than scraping by." Ethan. No address, no trace, just elegant handwriting that screamed wealth. Warmth bloomed in Lena's chest, mixed with wariness that gnawed like a shadow. Who was he, really? A benefactor or something sinister? A quick search on her phone, fingers flying. Ethan Whitaker, CEO of Whitaker Renewables. Net worth $9.2 billion. Reclusive innovator in solar tech, ex-engineer turned mogul, press avoidant, widowed. Photos showed a stern man with piercing eyes, exiting boardrooms or congressional hearings with a jaw set like steel. Not just rich, he shaped industries, influenced policies. Why her? The question echoed as she administered the meds to Ava, watching her daughter's color return slowly. "Why really?" she texted, unable to let it go. The delay felt eternal, building tension like a storm cloud. Then, "I know loss you can't fix. No kid should suffer it. Not pity, empathy, raw and unexpected. "No pity wanted," she shot back, defensive. "It's respect." Silence stretched again, then, "Employed?" The question hit like a punch to the gut, exposing her vulnerability. Was lab tech and biotech. Laid off, daycare closed. Now, surviving on fumes. Field, data analysis mostly. Handled assays, reports. Cleaned up messes too. Literal and figurative. His surprise reply came after another pause. "Visit Whitaker HQ tomorrow. 10 a.m. Ask for Nora. Chat only, no pressure." A job? From a text mishap? Suspicion peaked. Was this his angle? Lure her in? But the nursery image from the company site flashed in her mind, and hope flickered. Lena hadn't stepped into a corporate tower in ages. Last time, an ill-fitting suit for a temp gig that ended in humiliation when her boss caught her pumping breast milk in the bathroom. Now, her best jeans, a simple top that hid the stains, Ava in a carrier strapped close. The lobby gleamed, modern, eco-friendly with living walls of plants that whispered freshness. The receptionist perked up instantly. "Ms. Hartley? Expected?" 30th floor. Nora awaits. "Expected? How?" The elevator whooshed up, her reflection in the mirrored walls showing a woman on the edge, eyes wide with caution. Nora, mid-40s, efficient with a kind smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. Ethan's exec assistant. He's tied up in a board call but tore first. The hallways buzzed subtly with focused energy, employees glancing curiously but not staring. They paused at a room, not an office, but a fully equipped nursery. Crib with soft linens, toys in bright colors, soft lighting that soothed. Lena gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. He thought it'd ease things for you and Ava. Thoughtful, not flashy. But was it calculated? "Why me?" Lena asked, voice barely above a whisper, suspicion lacing her words. Nora's smile faltered for a split second. He sees potential others miss, and perhaps a chance to right some wrongs, cryptic. Coffee in hand, they sat in a quiet meeting room, the skyline mocking her small life below. The door opened quietly, Ethan in person, tall, composed, realer than the photos, with weary eyes that held storms, and a faint smile that softened his edges. "Lena, glad you came." She stood awkwardly, shifting Ava's weight. "Wasn't sure I should." "You did. That counts." He was clear, his voice steady but with an undercurrent of something hidden. "You owe nothing. This isn't a rescue mission. It's investing in capability." "Why?" she pressed, searching his face for lies. "You fight without begging. That's trustworthy in a world full of takers." A folder slid over. 3-month contract, data analyst in compliance. Solid pay that made her eyes water. Flexible hours, on-site or remote. Nursery access included. Lena eyed the salary. Life-changing, enough to move, to breathe. She glanced at Ava, cooing softly, then back. "This is real?" "Yes." After a beat of internal battle, she nodded. Accepted. But in her mind, the question lingered. What was the catch? First day, nerves high, like walking into a lion's den. Clean outfit from the thrift store, Ava in her sling-like armor. Warm welcomes from staff, no judgment in their eyes yet. Nora met her with coffee, steaming and perfect. "Your space is ready." The office, ergonomic chair, dual monitors that hummed to life. A glass partition overlooking the nursery where Ava could play safely. Ava cooed at the colorful toys, oblivious to the tension in her mother's shoulders. Lena dove into the work, audit logs, financial reports, data trails that twisted like vines. The familiar rush hit her, spotting anomalies, piecing puzzles. It felt good, empowering, but the suspicion simmered. Why her, really? An hour in, Ethan appeared at her door, knocking lightly. "Settling in okay?" "Haven't crashed the systems yet," she quipped, masking her unease. He eyed her screen with interest. Already into Q2 audits? Inconsistencies in supplier payouts jumped out. His brow raised, a flicker of something. Surprise? Approval? Quick catch. Obvious if you're looking closely. His look turned thoughtful, almost probing. Anything odd stand out? Maybe, rounding errors. Or deliberate hides. His jaw tightened subtly, a tell she filed away. Stick to surface for now. She met his gaze. I don't do surface. That's how messes grow. That afternoon, Nora brought lunch, fresh salad, grilled protein, without asking. As Lena ate, an internal ping from Ethan. Keep this quiet. Flag any oddities directly to me only. No one else. You expect me to find something? I expect your eyes to see what others miss. The message hung there, building suspense. What was he hiding? By week 2, a routine formed. Black coffee at dawn, a kiss on Ava's forehead, deep dives into the digital depths. But tension built. Whispers in the hallways, colleagues glancing away when she passed. Friday afternoon, the pattern emerged like a ghost from the fog. Vendor EcoLink partners repeated subtly, amounts just under audit thresholds, tied to ghost projects that existed only on paper. Total siphoned thousands, potentially millions over time. A shell corp in Nevada, untraceable at first glance. Insider work, no doubt. Her pulse quickened. Who was behind it? And why did it feel personal? She didn't tell Nora, though the assistant's eyes seemed to watch her more closely. Instead, she messaged Ethan. Need 5 mins, critical. His office, expansive skyline view, sparse desk with a single framed photo faced away. She handed the encrypted drive. Not proven, but these flags are red. He scrolled through her findings, his face hardening like stone. This spans quarters. Vendor's fake. You knew? She accused softly. Suspected. Couldn't pin it down without risking leaks. Why no outsiders? Trust issues. Too many knives in the dark. The weight of his isolation hit her, but so did the suspense. What enemies lurked within his empire? Now what? Dig quietly. No digital trails that can be traced. You want me to investigate your own firm. I want the truth, whatever the cost. That night, with Ava asleep in her crib, Lena pondered over a cup of tea gone cold. Not scared of the dirt, she'd faced worse. But scared of failing Ava, or the fragile trust budding with Ethan. And the nagging question, was he using her? But here's the first twist. As Lena dug deeper that night, cross-referencing old emails in the archives, she stumbled on a name buried in the vendor logs, her ex, Derek. The father who ghosted after Ava's birth, leaving her with shattered dreams and mounting debts. His digital signature on early approvals? Impossible. Or was it? Heart racing, she traced it back. Derek had worked briefly at Whitaker as a contractor years ago, before vanishing into thin air. Was this coincidence, or had Ethan known all along? The room felt smaller, walls closing in. Was the wrong number no accident? Morning came with heavy silence, the apartment's shadows longer than usual. Ava dreamed peacefully, her tiny fists clenched as if fighting invisible foes. Lena fixed the leaky sink herself, independence her shield, while her mind whirled. At her desk by 7:30, she delved deeper. EcoLink's address a P.O. box in a seedy part of town, exec listed as anonymous through layers of legal fog. Payments routed from varied departments, but all from the same device ID, ghost logins, sophisticated and chilling. AM sharp. Ethan appeared in her office, his presence filling the space. You found the shell? Yes. It's sophisticated extraction, like bleeding the company slow. His eyes looked tired, bags deeper, as if sleep had evaded him too. I suspected someone close. The board? Some might be compromised. Loyalties shift with money. Why me, Ethan? Really? Fresh eyes, no ties, tough as nails. He saw her, not just as a mom, but as a force. But she pressed, Is that all? He hesitated, then, Show you something. A folder from his briefcase. Photo of a polished man in his 50s, sharp suit, colder eyes. Marcus Lang, our CFO, hired last year, pushed through protocol changes that opened doors. You think it's him? Suspect, but I need the crack in his armor. Lena nodded, but inside, questions swirled like a storm. Did Ethan hire her because of Derek's link? She held her tongue. For now, the suspense building like thunder. He paused at the door, lightening the moment. Ava's a nursery hit, gave my PA a death glare over her favorite elephant toy. A genuine laugh escaped her, breaking the tension briefly. His faint smile. She's a partner in crime already. Afternoon dragged with more matches. Emails from Marcus's aide requesting overrides, dates aligning perfectly with the siphons. She added them to her encrypted evidence folder, her fingers flying, adrenaline surging. But another twist hit like a gut punch. One email CC'd a familiar address. Her sister's Mia. Mia, who worked in finance downtown at a rival firm. Had she been involved? Or worse, was Mia the one who gave Derek the in, pulling strings from the shadows? Lena's world tilted on its axis. Family betrayal? She stared at the screen, breath shallow, the office suddenly feeling like a trap. Who could she trust? By 5 p.m., her eyes burned from the glare, head throbbing. In the nursery, Ava napped clutching her elephant, peaceful in a world of chaos. The sight grounded Lena, but the peace felt fragile, scary after the day's revelations. She distrusted quiet now. It hid storms, lies, dangers lurking just out of sight. Monday dawned with 12 payments fully documented, the ghost approvals masked like phantoms in the machine. Lena entered Ethan's office unannounced, the report in hand like a weapon. These are ghost approvals, borrowed credentials to hide the thief. He took it, his face resigned, lines etching deeper. This is the bait we need. Schedule a casual meet with Marcus tomorrow, she stiffened. Confront him directly? Spook him and he slips up. Watch for cracks. That's risky, could backfire. Necessary. The net's closing. But Lena couldn't hold back. I found Derek's name in the logs. My ex. Ethan's eyes flickered. Guilt, clear as day. Your ex? Must be coincidence. But she saw through the lie. You knew. That's why you helped, from the very start. The wrong number, was it engineered? The twist deepened. Ethan sighed, sinking into his chair, the weight of secrets visible. Derek, he's my half-brother, from a father I never knew well. He abandoned me young, resurfaced years ago begging for a job. I gave him a contractor gig, but he vanished again. When I saw your text, I ran a quick check, recognized Ava's name from old paternity rumors he mentioned once. I wanted to make amends, indirectly, without dragging you into family mess. Lena reeled, stepping back as if slapped. Not random kindness, family debt, manipulation. You used me. No, helped you. And now, we're in this together. Hurt bloomed, but the alliance held. Tenuous, for Ava's sake. Night fell with insomnia gripping her. She reviewed backups obsessively, the apartment's shadows dancing mockingly. Close meant danger, whistleblowers crushed, lives upended. But for Ava, worth every risk. And now, personal stakes. Derek's ghost haunting the edges. The phone buzzed at midnight. Awake? Yes. Sleep. You too. We'll nail him. But it'll get noisy after. Ready? Always was. Just no backup before. You have now. But unspoken between them. Trust fractured, like glass with cracks spreading. The meet was set for 10 a.m. Lena monitored the feed from her desk. Ava napping fitfully behind the glass, her coughs a reminder of why she fought. Marcus entered the conference room confident. Suit sharp as a blade. No handshake offered or taken. Appreciate you making time, Ethan said, voice steady but laced with steel. Always for the boss, Marcus replied smoothly, but his eyes darted. Nervous? Reviewed Q3 financials, oddities popping up. Marcus tilted his head, feigning confusion. Streamlining pains, no doubt. Vendor Ecolink, familiar? Doesn't ring a bell. Facilities or security? Apparently both. And research, legal. Interesting for a company no one can contact. Marcus barely blinked, but his fingers tapped subtly. A tell. I'll have my team look into it. You are your team. You approve those payments. Pause hung heavy, air thick with tension. I know your game, Marcus. The logs, device IDs, shells. You've been siphoning. Marcus's mouth twitched. You've been listening to your new hire too much. The desperate mom you pulled from the gutter. Lena's pulse spiked, fury boiling. He knew her. How deep did his intel go? Her name's Lena. and she saw what you hoped everyone would ignore. Marcus laughed quietly, dry and menacing. Bonding over spreadsheets and diapers? Cute, but risky. Ethan's voice dropped, chill as ice. You're done. Marcus. No, you are. He placed a flash drive on the table with deliberate slowness. Data here makes it look like your mismanagement. Funds diverted to personal accounts, bribes to silence scandals. The board's weary of your isolation, your grief-fueled decisions. Lena froze, watching the feed. Blackmail? Ethan, you underestimate me. No, I understand you best. Too human for this game. As he exited, the feed caught him texting. Plan B, expose the half-brother link. And the sisters cut. Lena gasped. Mia involved? She stormed to Ethan's office post-meet. My sister? Your brother? This is a web of lies, Ethan admitted, his voice heavy. Derek pulled Mia in for quick cash years ago. Marcus used them as pawns in his scheme. I helped you to unravel it without hurting you more. Hurt? It burned like fire. You should have told me. Would you have trusted? The question hung, suspense coiling tighter. But alliance held, for now, fragile as thread. Lena shut the feed, her heart racing like a drum. War declared. Marcus was dirty, but how dirty? Ethan vanished post-meet, leaving her to pace the office, mind racing. 2 hours later, she printed the full report and entered his office uninvited. He stood at the window, back to her, the city sprawling like a battlefield. You saw it all? I couldn't not. He turned, tired beyond words. I warned you it'd get ugly. He'd ruin you and drag me down. Weary resignation. Confirmed my worst fears. The board's his now. Going public risks the company, the jobs, the research. Then we find proof he can't spin. Still in, after everything, from the moment the math didn't add up. He flipped through her report. I have one last card, an off-books ex-IRS auditor, Riley. She's risky, could blow up if traced. Do you trust her? With my life. Then bring her in. But she added, and Mia? I need to confront her. Ethan nodded. Your call. But carefully, she's a pawn, not the queen. Marcus plays long games. Night. The safe house activated. A code texted discreetly. The place was a nondescript condo in a quiet suburb, stocked with essentials, formula, toys, even a crib. Lena packed lightly, essentials only, Ava fussing at the disruption but settling against her chest. The drive there was tense, headlights cutting through rain-slicked streets, her rearview mirror checked obsessively for tails. Was she paranoid or prudent? The apartment was cozy, secure, but the walls felt confining. Message from Ethan. Riley will call in 10. Prove everything. No holds barred. Ready. The call came sharp as a knife, crisp voice, all business. Ms. Hartley? This is Riley. Ethan briefed me. Start from the beginning. Leave nothing out. Lena spilled it all. The mishap text, the help, the job, the digs, now the family twists with Derek and Mia. Silence on the line stretched, suspenseful. Then, you're sharp. Better than most. Files are solid, we can bury him. But these family angles? They complicate everything. Motives blur. Next steps? Verify every thread, then set the trap. Lena's own twist. She texted Mia secretly from a burner app. We need to talk. Know about Ecolink? Mia's reply came after an agonizing wait. Stay out of it, Lena. It's dangerous. They'll come for you. Confirmation. Her sister was in deep. But was it fear or threat? 36 hours blurred in adrenaline and black coffee. The safe house a bunker of glowing screens. The fake memo was crafted meticulously. An internal realignment, announcing audits on all exec vendors, loaded into the system path Marcus's team monitored. They waited, tension thick as fog. Ethan worked shadows, stalling the board with vague promises, his messages to Lena sparse but urgent. She logged in via VPN, her every click careful, heart pounding. Noon, Riley's update. We got a ping. Memo accessed 3 times in 2 hours. Twice from his team, once from Marcus himself. What's his move? We'll see. Stay low. Hours ticked by like bombs. Then, Ethan's call, voice urgent. He's making his move. Filed an emergency ethics complaint to the board. Claims I bribed you to fabricate covers for my own embezzlement. Her name splashed across it. He's isolating you first. His pattern: discredit, remove. Will the board buy it? Some might. But we strike first. Twist. Mia showed up at the safe house unannounced, pounding on the door, face pale and drawn. Let me in, Lena, please. Suspicion flared. How'd you find me? Tracked your phone. Old habit from when you were pregnant. Inside, Mia broke. Marcus threatened me. Derek dragged me in years ago for easy money. Fake invoices. I didn't know the scale. Help me expose him? I have records. Alliance shift, sister turned ally, or double agent. Lena weighed it, suspense clawing. Prove it. Mia handed a USB. Emails. Transfers. Gold. Press release hit at 6 p.m. sharp. Whitaker Renewables investigates high-level financial misconduct. Short. Precise. No names, but hints at forensic irregularities and misappropriations. Riley forwarded the expanded dossier to the DA. 42 pages of ironclad proof, now bolstered by Mia's testimony as a cooperating witness. 8 p.m., an unknown call pierced the quiet. Lena answered, voice steel. Who? Impressive work, Marcus drawled, his tone silky with menace. I underestimated you. Silence from her, letting him fill it. I wanted Ethan down, his empire mine. You? Just an accident turned thorn. Women rise by being inconvenient, she retorted. He laughed, dry and chilling. You won't win. You're disposable, always have been. The line went dead, but the threat lingered like smoke. But the final twist struck like lightning. Riley traced the call, not just Marcus, but a recording slip. Derek's alive, hiding the funds in Cayman. Cut him loose if needed. Derek not ghosted, faked his death for the scheme? Lena texted Ethan. Your brother's back from the dead? His reply, impossible. But if true, we end this for good. News played on the TV, Ava asleep beside her, the stories unfolding like a thriller. Calm settled over Lena. She knew the end was near. But what price? Morning brought a buzz of notifications. Stories viral. Whistleblower mom exposes multi-million fraud at green energy giant. Her name hinted at, but not fully out. Nora texted, final meet at 9 a.m. Marcus and Ethan, top floor. Be ready. Lena used the secondary entry, heart hammering, feed pulled up on her laptop in a hidden corner. 9:01, Marcus entered blank-faced, but sweat beaded on his brow. Let's save the posturing, he said, voice edged. I know what this is. Then you know why you're here, Ethan replied, calm as a predator. You bled the company dry. I kept it alive when you were drowning in grief, too weak to lead. The insult hung, rehearsed and venomous. You targeted my distraction, and you didn't count on a watcher like her. Her? The poverty project you plucked for redemption? The data convicts you, Marcus. He stood, face twisting. This is a mistake. No, yours was thinking you were untouchable. Nora stepped in. Gentlemen, security will escort Mr. Lang out. Badge deactivated. His expression cracked, shattering like glass. As he left, a final snarl. Derek sends regards. Gone. But post-meet twist. Alerts blared. Derek arrested at the border, attempting to flee with siphoned millions. Funds seized. His death exposed as a fraud to evade debts. Mia cleared as a key witness, her testimony sealing the case. 10:30, it was over. Marcus suspended, board halting all his operations. Riley's team pushed federal charges forward, the net closing tight. In the nursery window, overlooking the now peaceful city, a knock. Ethan, faint smile breaking through exhaustion. You were right. You don't scare easy. She shook her head. Neither do you. Ava toddled over, reaching up. He scooped her gently. How's my little partner in crime? Ava babbled enthusiastically. Take tomorrow off, he said. Rest, be with her. And the day after? Permanent offer, head of compliance. full autonomy. Build your team. But the romantic twist unfolded slowly, over coffee in his office later that day. Ethan confessed, voice low. It started as amends for Derek's sins. But it became real. Your strength. It pulled me out of the dark. Lena searched his eyes. Trust can be rebuilt? He leaned in, their kiss sealing the fractures. A new beginning amid the ruins. Sunrise next day, no alarm blaring. Ava's soft breaths beside her. No tension knotting her stomach. Coffee on the balcony, the world fresh. Headlines screamed, Marcus front page villain. Interview requests flooded her inbox. She ignored them, focused on building her life, not reliving the storm. Noon call from Ethan. Holding up? It's weird being the storm's center. You chose it, bravely. Pause, charged. I trust you, Lena. Rare for me. You too. Longer silence. Can I see you? Glancing at Ava, stacking blocks with glee. We're ready to come back. The reunion was quiet. No fanfare. Lobby entry with Ava carried close. Nora greeted with a warm smile, handing the badge. Director, compliance. He's been watching the clock since dawn. In his office, he turned from the window. You're back. Never truly left. Ava reached for him. He held her, then set her down gently. You kept every promise. All of them. Nod. Time for new ones. 3 weeks later, Lena stood as board lead, not an assistant, but the exposer who saved an empire. The meeting was crisp, her framework pitch. Transparent systems, decentralized checks, triple audits. No one, not even the CEO, bypasses without a trail. She didn't glance at Ethan, but felt his proud gaze. Afterward, a senior board member stopped her. You did something rare. Your job so well it exposed our sloppiness. Lena smiled. Wasn't about looking good. It was about keeping Ava safe. That's even rarer. That night she stayed late, not out of necessity, but because the work fueled her. Reviewing a final vendor log, a voice behind, Shouldn't you be home? Ethan with coffee in hand. I'm building the system you asked for. He set it down. Come on, let's get out of here. And go where? Anywhere you want. They didn't go far, just a quiet street walk, the city humming softly. Ever think how weird this all is? Which part? A wrong text leading to this. Not weird. It was the right turn I needed. She exhaled, no argue left. Trust rebuilt stronger. In the mirror of her new apartment. Lease in her name. No more leaks. Ava applesauced and giggling. Life hers, building forward. Night laptop open. A message from Ethan. Attachment. The first text screenshot. The accident that wasn't. Still think so? Universe's best hire, she laughed. What happens next? You and Ava in my life permanently. Not just team, not just coworkers. Mine, if you're ready. She read it twice, heart full. Smile. Ask in person. The doorbell rang. But the twist ending. Door opens. Not Ethan alone, but with agents flanking a cuffed Derek. One last confession. Derek sneers. Ava's paternity test, I faked the ghosting. She's mine, not fully yours to keep. Lena's world spins again, the final suspense leaving her breathless. But with Ethan by her side, she faces it, stronger than ever. Fade to black. Thank you for joining Lena and Ethan's twist-filled, suspenseful journey to the end. If this story thrilled you with its surprises and tension, hit like, subscribe for more gripping tales. Even greater adventures with unexpected turns await. Don't miss out.